Hello everybody and welcome back to What We Tell the Kids. My beautiful wife, ladies and gentlemen, Roxy Singh.
Hello.
Arguably so from last week's podcast till this week. Yes, we discussed a lot of serious things that are happening within the country, but we're going to also move on with that. Into a little bit of another serious topic. And that's stop meddling in your in other people's marital lives. Yeah,
you eased into that one very nicely.
I did.
Look, right, I must say, I watched something the other day which I was very surprised about, because so there was this whole fight on TikTok, and I love drama on TikTok. I can sit up sometimes when my son keeps me up, or if I'm watching the camera to watch him, I sit and I involve myself in other people's dramas, and I just like watching it because it's so entertaining. But anyway, I saw something the other week, and not naming names or shaming shames. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you are missing out. But anyway,
shame it and name it.
No, we're not doing that. But so anyway, one person said to the other person, obviously there's a marital issue, married couple, and the in-laws, who maybe daughter-in-law, sister-in-law, I don't know. She's now checking the wife out on social media and going and reporting back to the family. So it's obviously the conversation of the dinner table between the family regarding the son and the wife. No, man, really. I think we're big people now. We're grown up now. We must stop doing stupid things, man.
unless
man.
You are astronomer CEO Andy Byron. If anybody doesn't know the story about that, just a quick overview. Andy Byron was the CEO of Astronomer. Recently got caught at the Coldplay concert cheating on his wife and having an extramarital affair. You've got to love social media for bringing up this kind of thing, because I don't think for a second he thought that was going to get caught, and in such a Coldplay now destroying relationships,
marriage.
So just from my side, and I'm going to read this. I was after the Coldplay kiss cam video went viral. Astronomer CEO Andy Byron's wife Megan dropped her spouse's name from a social media platforms. Ever since, reports have claimed that the couple was heading for a divorce. And what a suckish way to get divorced, man. Number one, don't meddle in other people's affairs. Yes, I do understand. I agree with my wife that if it's not your business, it's not your problem. It's simple as that. However, if you are publicly cheating on your partner and people do find out and catch you, please go tell that person's husband or wife.
No.
It's your social responsibility to ensure that it's not about destroying the marriage, but you're also protecting somebody else's sanity.
Yeah, man, if you're not happy, just leave. Like, really. I'm saying, we're big people now. You know, if you're not happy, why? Just walk out. Walk out and start your life afresh. Don't stop making it into an issue where, you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing. We all have been in a place where we've made stupid mistakes and we learn from them. And I think when you become an adult, you realize just how stupid certain things you do are. And let's teach our kids to be better than us. But when I'm speaking about this kind of meddling, I'm talking about in family. You can, a total stranger calls you out is different. But now when you're getting meddling in-laws and meddling on the other side of the family, talking to your husband about the wife and how the wife should behave, no, we don't do that anymore. How would you handle that, my love? Okay, you don't have in-laws, right? So for you, it's a bit easier. But what would you do, my love, if, for example, something that was not agreed upon in our marriage was taken to my family and discussed around a dinner table, and you were the topic of discussion, instead of coming directly to you and saying, I don't agree with the way you deal with this? How do you handle that sort of thing?
Well, look,
how would you?
Excuse me. It depends on what was being discussed, right? If something is really Look, there's two ways to look at it. Number one, you have a common natural tendency, it's human behavior, to want to be snoopy, to want to have gossip. The word is gossip that I'm looking for. So gossip is a natural part of human life. And I don't think that even in the most biblical and spiritual of times, gossip wasn't something that was there. It existed,
Of course.
but probably at the dawn of time. And people loved to tell stories and carry stories. It's how the message just got across. Recently, we spread the wrong kind of information. And that's the problem which I have. Most of the time, as I said, if it doesn't involve you, shut your mouth, then forget about it. However, if it does involve some people and you want to gossip and you want to carry these stories forward, it's ruining people's lives. So to answer your question, how would I deal with it? I'm not a person that confronts something upfront.
You're not
I'm not a
confrontational.
person that wants to meddle in something, even if it involves my name being dragged through the mill. It's just in my nature to let bygones be bygones. You may not believe in it, but I believe in the simple word called karma. And karma, every dog has his day. So I leave it in the hands of God. Unless, of course, you wanna push the question straight to my face, then we can have a good fight about it.
So I think men generally handle it differently, and I think that's where maybe the question doesn't hit the right type of vibe, if you'd like to say. Females, on the other hand, I think they get it the worst. Speaking from watching some other close family members, and I think maybe sister-in-laws and mother-in-laws and father-in-laws and all the in-laws should really learn to treat each other a little bit more kindly and mind their own business, stay in your lane, offer advice where it's needed. But otherwise, I think you've lived your life, you've had your opportunity with your family, you've done it well, and let the other family or your kid's family, your daughter's family or your son's family experience their family by themselves.
Absolutely, I agree with that. But there are just some bits of information that are too juicy to pass up on. And what I mean by juicy is that you heard Prakash cheating. You heard. Do you have an eye account witness? Did somebody see it? Oh, the stories are like a ZTV sitcom. It's impossible sometimes to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, sometimes it's a neighbor that you went to just to say hello, and then now it became you went to the neighbor's house when the wife wasn't there, and now what you're doing behind closed doors. No, man. From experience, in terms of watching so much that goes on around communities, and not just the Indian community, somewhere along the line, every speculation that starts off with the man, especially, that's defending his innocence, it has some merit to it. It has some merit to it. But we grow and we raise societies that are just so fearful to admit the truth. Gosh, if you're wrong, just admit that you're wrong. And I think in our marriage, no matter what it was, whether it was former alcohol abuse from my side or whatever it is, I learned the hard way that no matter how much you deny it, your wife knows the truth. And if she knows the truth, you aren't getting anything out from it by saying, no, I didn't have that drink. Oh, no, I wasn't doing all of that. No matter what excuse you can put forth, your mouth stinks. Your odor is there. You've sold yourself out no matter what you've tried to do. Just be honest, man. And you know what? Admitting that you're honest about what you've done is the first step to recovery. It's really the first step to recovery, because I've given up everything that was almost detrimental to my health, such as alcohol, for many years. Many years. Yeah, almost everything. For many years. And I'm so much happier about it, because the first step was the argument, the second step was lies, the third step was being caught out in the lie, and then the fourth step was admitting the truth. And once I admitted the truth, it's a weight off your shoulders, and then you start to get rid of all these casual substance abuse things that really affect your mental capacity to be a good individual. I'm so grateful that in our families we have such a good family dynamic, because even though we don't share the same religious backgrounds, our families are so supportive of our journey, and both sides of our family, my side of the family and your side of the family, we have such a good relationship with across the board. My side of the family looks very much to his side of the family for advice, for love, for everything. It's like we're one big family. And I think maybe it's because we lost our parents a few years ago, and we really looked to mom and dad, which is my husband's mom and dad, which I call mom and dad. And I think that's why I have made a staple rule when it comes to my family, that they shall address my parents as mom and dad. And I've put them on a pedestal, and my family have been very respectful of that. And it works vice versa. So I think marriages, husbands and wives and sons and daughters, the onus is on you to create the family relationship you require. And I expect the same thing of my kids. One day when they get married, and one day when they have kids, the same will be asked of them. When you walk into somebody else's house, your husband and you, or your wife and you are the one that determines how the relationship will go. And if you already have a preconceived notion of how bad relationships will happen, it's going to be bad. But if you have a positive mindset, and if you maintain positivity in your marriage and say, we're going to have a good relationship with our in-laws, it's going to happen. But the minute that you already have a bad intention and listen to the big bad wolf that goes around whispering bad things, it's going to get into your head. And in our family, like I said, husband and I on the same page. We love each other's families. It's an expectancy from our families, and we don't entertain any other conversations.
Stop manifesting negativity. That's in simple English. Stop manufacturing. Stop manufacturing negativity.
Manufacturing is true.
Stop it. Stop doing that, because you're only putting yourself through a lot of trauma. But let's also be real about it, right? A lot of people that get married, and when they do get married, especially in the Indian community, you're about 30, 35, older, younger, who knows. But your parents are also quite significantly older. Maybe perhaps they're in their late 50s, they're in their 60s, or whatever the case is when you do get married. It's not about also trying to teach an old dog new tricks. Forgiveness for calling parents dogs. But you cannot teach old people new tricks. It's embedded within their system, and it's how they work in life. So if they by nature are gossipers, or whatever it is, or whatever negativity you want to throw shade upon in terms of their character, it is who they are. And mothers, especially mother-in-laws, they don't want their sons to be taken away by another woman, and so on and so forth. It can really be quite an entertaining sitcom. The reason I say this is simple, that when you get married to your wife, try and do one thing: detach from your families for a short span of time, so that you can build your relationship and your home. Most of the time what happens is that when you have not built the foundation of your relationship, everything else crumbles, because everybody else wants to come and live in your house, and they want to dictate rules to you because some form of support is given. I encourage people out there, before you contemplate marriage just based on love, to go and build the foundational roots of your household and your home. Lay the bricks down, and put the cement. Make sure it's strong, just you and your wife, and kids, if kids are involved, or whatever it is, and then start inviting people into your home for supper. So
True.
Make sure you have many meals alone together with your wife first, before you start inviting guests into your home. That is the number one key rule to a happy family and a happy life.
But also set reasonable boundaries. Reasonable being the key word, because boundaries are very wonderful to have, but boundaries must be agreed upon when it comes to marriage. Marriage does not exist on one person's expectancy. It's a joint effort. So husband and wife sit down and create the boundaries that you are willing to have in your marriage, and what you expect from each other in terms of allowing outside interference, because outside interference is very healthy sometimes. It also can be deadly to the marriage. But like I said, sit down, husband and wife, and discuss these things, because that is important.
Have the conversation, do what you want to do, however you want to choose, whatever you want to do, do it. Do it and be happy. Most importantly, be happy. Be happy with yourself, be happy with your partner, and be content with your own relationship. A final word of advice before we end the podcast here for this week is that if you cannot love yourself and if you cannot eat alone with yourself, then you should not be involved in anything that includes the word relationship. You need to have a lot of introspective love for yourself in order for you to understand your limits and how much you wish to give to everyone else. So that's just a nugget of wisdom from me. Oh, the time has gone off and we're done with the podcast. Bye.
Okay,
Love
bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.